yes. I've been seeing bits of this story float around on social media the last few days. Didn't see its origin, so thank you, Styx, for archiving this one. Just in, former Apprentice producer claims Trump said, "Would America buy a winning?" And it's on tape. Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, in other news, pigs can fly, my balls are made of gold, and I once had sex with a pixie in an elevator shaft, high as a kite on LSD called Blue Moon I was. Obviously, this is all complete bollocks. It was never in an elevator shaft. Anyway, safe to say, we don't need to read beyond the headline because this is comically stupid to the point of absurd. Let's use logic instead. When was The Apprentice on? Early 2000s, because this is a reference to Obama. Why did you people not use this to cancel Trump back then? Ah, yes, because he wasn't running for president. He was hot sex and great for ratings. Much like he still is now, which is why the media doesn't shut the hell up about him. And it's also a convenient narrative pivot in their minds. Don't talk about our guy. No, just make the other guy seem worse. Very typical Democratic politics, that is. Because who cares about things like honesty and integrity, right? We talk about politics over here, and we have money to make. Several years attacking your reputation, pulling that bollocks, and then you have the audacity to engage in a level of gaslighting so brazen, you would swear you're conducting the most nakedly obvious case of psychological warfare.
Oh, the balls on these people! Holy sh**.
Indeed, Rex. Again, let's think about this. Early 2000s, you didn't pull this out in 2016. Why? You're telling me between the Russiagate rubbish, the Steele dossier, the Russian prostitute nonsense, Stormy Daniels, any other bollocks that didn't stick, this is what you idiots try and pull out now? Really? And there was talk about this in, I think, 2018 already. We didn't see any evidence of it then, but 6 years later, oh, suddenly now it's been miraculously discovered, is it? It couldn't possibly be because Trump was in the Bronx a while ago and you saw a load of black Americans supporting him, and the response from the regime was, oh shit, what's the quickest way to emotionally manipulate black people? Oh, throw out that Trump said the N-word. That is low-key kind of insulting. It is also really embarrassing for the demographic and democracy as a whole if that actually worked in theory. Imagine voting for someone who made your life objectively worse simply because the other guy said a word that offended you. Good God, the population is pathetic and stupid. But anyway, as I've said this before, ignorance is bliss, and one of the most depressing things about the democratic regime is once you know how the machinery works, it is embarrassing to see just how stupidly primitive the propaganda really is. There's a deeper conversation to be had here, but I'm saving that for a long theory video, so I'll try and keep this one brief. But when you see this kind of jarring stupidity, ask yourself, who the hell is stupid enough to keep buying this crap? Repeatedly. A sucker is born every minute, as the saying goes, and they always vote Democrat. Pretty sure I said this before years ago as well, but you gotta look at the narrative as a fuel, and humans like their vehicles. And the narrative fuel is diesel. If your mind is fitted with the petrol engine, then you are designed to ponder, to peruse, generally speaking, have enough sense to tell the diesel fuel to piss off. Because you know it's bollocks, it's gonna throw a spanner in the works. Whereas if you have a diesel engine, oh, you have the mind of a dumbass, and that fuel is designed to move you off a cliff. Now, because these people are not moved or fazed by something as rigid as facts, they are manipulated by something akin to the shade of what they already believe. It doesn't need to be factual, it doesn't need to be true, hell, it doesn't even need to make any sense, so long as it fits their preconceived notions. As long as it satisfies that criteria, my word, they will believe damn near anything. A great example of the diesel mind is Sam Harris, or better yet his Dumb and Dumber counterpart Bill Maher. Now, in some ways, I really got to thank him because his irrational stupidity has been tremendously useful in pushing people further to the right. Bill Maher is such a demented dumbass. Must have been, what, about 5 years ago or so? He got clowned on his own show by Ben Shapiro, of all people, who asked him, is Trump a doofus or an evil genius? You got to pick one. Now, props to Ben for asking that, because one thing I noticed about the media during the Trump years was the staggering amount of whack jobs who were ping-ponging themselves like schizophrenics between these two positions. Trump was either this woefully incompetent idiot, he had no idea what he was doing, but also a shrewd evil genius capable of ending the republic as we know it. Safe to say, if you weren't insane, you would nevertheless start questioning your sanity because it doesn't seem like anyone else around you had a head. 4 years later, they're acting like he was never president. It's fucking bizarre. But what was Maher's reply? Oh, but of course, to invoke the spirit of the mustache man, and saying you don't have to pick one, no, because he was crazy and a genius, so you can be both. So in the mind of the so-called sensible liberal, yeah, crazy and stupid is synonymous. Then several years later, he goes on Joe Rogan and calls Trump crazy and stupid. Again, how on earth does anyone think this man is remotely intelligent? He's a crap flinger like every other regime pleb. Only difference is he does it in a pretentious, wanky manner whilst wearing a monkey suit. Yes, I'm well aware. He's not even a comedian. He's a clown masquerading as a toff. If they're insane enough to believe that Trump is some egomaniacal demagogue hell-bent on vengeance, then Trump saying the N-word is not only believable, hell, in their world it's borderline expected. I mean, these people buy into this nonsense with a currency very susceptible to emotional rhetoric, not logic. So again, using logic to appeal to and or sway them is impotent. It does nothing. Wrong fuel, wrong engine. This is why universal suffrage is such a disaster. Also goes to show you philosophers of old who said politics is only for higher tier men were in fact correct. Because once you get everyone involved in this affair armed with only citizenship and an age requirement, the quality tanks. Shocker. Too many cooks indeed spoil the broth, especially when half the cooks can't even use a damn spoon without setting the kitchen on fire. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.